Edward Snowden is essentially in hiding in Russia, and I'm wondering, insofar as you can, could you tell us how this interview came together and why you think he wanted to talk now?
Well, I've been hoping to see him in Russia for a long time now and asking, and he has made it clear for a long time he doesn't want to be the story. He doesn't want to be the center of the story. And although you see his name a lot, and the fact is he's turned down millions of dollars in TV and film and book offers and so on. But I think I persuaded him that for the end of the year there had to be a story that would try to bring together all of, or many of the large number of complex stories, say what it is have we learned, what's it mean, have you achieved your purpose, and that he needed to be a voice in that story.
And in that story, he said that he felt vindicated, that he had already won. Can you tell us why he believes that?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand what he did and he didn't mean. He doesn't believe that his views have necessarily been endorsed by everyone, although he had some very powerful vindication just in terms of substance when the first federal court, first open court to consider the lawfulness of one of the NSA's major programs said it's almost certainly unconstitutional. But he didn't know that at the time. What he's saying is his objective was to take big, important programs that he worried about out of a secret world and bring it to public attention, to make it so that the debate could be national and international. And he's certainly succeeded in that beyond any reasonable ambition.
And he was quite critical of the heads of the intelligence committees of the FISA court. And I think those people would say, what gives you the right to reveal a classified program that has been endorsed by these committees and that has been sanctioned by the Federal Intelligence Surveillance Court? Who are you to do this?
Right. Well, his answers would be, retrospectively, well, I mean, you know, after the fact, well, my belief that the general public and other big institutions like the technology companies, like the courts, like Congress, would want to talk about these things, would want to know more than they know, because even most members of Congress really didn't know. That's been vindicated. But you have to make the decision in advance without knowing any of that, and he believed that if you see something that you think is wrong and no one else is doing anything, then it becomes a personal obligation. That's going to be a controversial claim. Clearly not everyone agrees with it, but he believed it was a matter of conscience.
There's been a lot of talk stemming from a 60 Minutes report about him being potentially granted amnesty in return for returning all documents. Does he want to come back to the United States?
You know, he's not answering a whole lot of questions. My impression is he would be very happy to be able to come back one day to the United States.
Can you tell us a little bit about his life in Russia insofar as you got a glimpse of it?
He did offer some glimpses of his life in Russia, which, as it turns out, may not be so different from his prior life, you know, from his teenage years forward. He's always been what he calls an indoor cat, a guy who, of sort of ascetic tastes, lives on ramen noodles and chips, which they do have in Russia, and spends a big fraction of his waking hours online. He's a guy whose window on the world is the internet, whose means of communication is the keyboard, and he never saw a whole lot of reason to get out very much.